Welcome to Bay Area Sports Report. My name is Ray, and today we'll be talking about day 14 of 49ers training camp, along with a lot of updates, signings, so injury updates. Well, let's get right into it. But my voice may be a bit raspy a little. I went to the Valkyries game yesterday. It was a lot of fun. They won. Congrats to the Valkyries again on making it to the playoffs. So my voice may be a little bit raspy, a little. I'm not feeling okay, but I'm still going to be covering Niners news, including today for 49ers training camp of day 14 with the joint practice with the Chargers today, and then tomorrow I'll be giving my players to my preview for tomorrow on the game against the Chargers for tomorrow on Wednesday. So look out for that video tomorrow. But let's get right into this video. As 49ers running back, as the 49ers recently signed Nick Zakelj and Victor Demukia to one-year deals. They released, in order to make room, they released Khalil Herbert and offensive lineman Kion Smith. Overall, I don't like this signing for Nick Zakelj because he's not good at pass rushing. He's not good at run blocking, but I mean, maybe he's improved. Maybe this is his last chance. I mean, he's pretty much always here. Maybe improve better, but I don't know. I don't think he's a very good player, so I don't like this signing for Nick Zakelj. Victor Demukia, that was kind of the right move. I need to see a little bit more of pass rushing. He was drafted by the Chargers out of Duke last year, 2025. He did very solid. He was able to get some tackles. So he was pretty solid. 2023 was his best season before sacks. So I think that was it's a nice signing in my view. So I like it. But the reason why they released Khalil Herbert is that Kalen Black is back with the 49ers. I'm excited that he's back with them because he's such an important part of their team, especially for the running backs on the injuries of Jordan James and Isaac Guerendo from last year. So I feel pretty excited for them. So I'm excited that he's back on there. He's very good. He's very good at passing, and pass catching. He didn't get that a lot back in college, but they didn't need him on that. They had a lot of good runs early, as you could see from Kalen Black scoring a rushing touchdown early on in the Chargers offense, but it kind of didn't went well in later on. As let's get right into that. I need to get into that first. And it shows here that Kalen Black, with a couple of big runs early, he doesn't look like someone who's missed the last couple of weeks, which is very good that he's, even after he was injured with an adductor injury, which is kind of short for hamstring or something like that, short for an injury of something. Like, I feel like he did very good, and I think he takes care of his body very well. So it's good to see him still running out there. Very good player. I feel like he might win that RB2 role now. Now that James has been out for a couple of weeks, he could come back week 3, possibly against the Raiders. As along with Isaac Guerendo, I don't know when he's coming back. He's in IR right now, so. But it's good to see Kalen Black back on there. We also saw Christian McCaffrey on the side, which is very good, as he was there running around jogging to a teammate. So overall, it's very good. So it's nothing contract related. It might, which is a very good thing. It might be injury related though, possibly, which is not exactly a good thing, especially. But he should be back probably by the couple of weeks. But I wouldn't be surprised if Black averaged more runs than yards than McCaffrey, because McCaffrey didn't average a lot of yards last year. Like, sure, he had 1,000 yards earlier, but he didn't exactly get the average of running than he used to be. So I wouldn't be surprised on that, but it's good to see McCaffrey out there on the side, so it's good to see him there. But as for that, as it shows in this article, El Segundo, California, the 49ers offense largely had its way with the Titans in a joint practice last week, but that was far from the case against the Chargers. The unit started well as running Rookie running back Kalen Black broke some big runs early, but the Chargers settled in for the second half and made life hard on Brock Purdy and company in the move the ball 2 minute and red zone periods. Chargers. As for the red zone periods, Dejon's dribbling caught touchdowns there, which is a good thing. I like on that they did well on that, but at the same time, I don't think he didn't exactly do very good. Technically, he didn't exact. After that, he kind of just lost his rhythm after that, so he didn't exactly do well from later on. So, fortunately, he didn't exactly do good after after those red zone touchdowns. So it shows here later on in this article, Chargers linebacker Del'Shawn Phillips even picked off a Purdy pass intended for tight end Luke Farrell when safety Darwin James Jr. got his hand in the way and tipped it to him. All in all, it wasn't the most encouraging outing against another team that should be a playoff contender this season. Obviously, there are some good stuff, some stuff we need to work on, but I feel like that they came out with a little more of a chip on their shoulder, Coach Kyle Shanahan said. And I think, and this show here is just, and what's work, and you're probably thinking, did the defense do good? It did not, as this is another one of my losers, as the entire defense didn't exactly do good, as Justin Herbert and his receivers put on a show against the 49ers defense, just cooking them. Big step up in a competition scheme from practice against Cam Ward and Titans last week, which is not exactly a good thing. It is a bit of a sad issue right now. As it shows here, Chargers offensive linebacker Tuli Tapodo gave the Niners fits, particularly in the run game where he had at least 3 run stuffs. Yeah, well, this is kind of an issue. It's unfortunate that the offense and defense didn't do well, but it's kind of a learning phase. I think it's also kind of good for them to monitor what they need to work on, especially. So I think it's nice that they kind of didn't do well. Maybe this teaches them a little bit better, and then we'll see if that exactly proves in the Chargers game in August 20th, and see if they get better at it, hopefully. So, but it's kind of a bit of a sad issue. Ronald Green was the only cornerback who did very good. Unfortunately, Fred Warner accidentally hit him. We didn't see him come back since Jack Jones came in, which is kind of a concern because Fred Warner injured Jordan James, and then now it's a possibility he might have injured Ronaldo Green. I haven't seen any updates on that yet, so we'll have to see later on. But he did very good, Ronaldo Green, locking down receivers, but it's kind of sad on that. Trent Irwin did very good, so he could possibly make it onto the roster. So Jacob Cowan really needs to take a huge leap if he doesn't want Trent Irwin to take his spot. So he needs to step up Cowan for the preseason game. So is Will Pauling and Wesley Grimes also. But Trent Irwin today did a very good job in the 49ers versus and Chargers joint practice. DeMarcus Robinson also did very good. Got some couple of yards. Very reliable receiver. But they were going to start him, but they love Deebo Samuel. And I get it. Like, Deebo's not as fast as he used to be, but he is more experienced. He has a lot of yards. He knows the system very well. So I feel like it's just better this way. So as for Mike Evans, it shows here wide receiver Mike Evans, who returned from a tight quad last week, took part in most of Tuesday's practice but stopped before the final periods. He initially had his left foot wrapped in ice before watching the end of session with that ice pack relocated to his left quad, which is the same thing. As it shows here that Mike Evans had his left foot / ankle wrapped in ice. Evans is not expected to return to practice on for the remainder of the day. From Nat Wagner. But the good news is, though, is that Mike Evans was just experiencing tightness, and it's not anything serious per Kyle Shanahan. So it's at least something. So at least that's a good thing. Here's some passes, to dribbling. Brock Purdy was tossing dimes. 2 days on dribbling. So this was like before practice, as you can see here for dribbling. Looks like he comes up with a very good out route into the end zone. So I like that from him, so that was pretty nice. So I think this is the same one, but here's some more out routes. Here's the out route there. Good touchdown by dribbling. I think he's starting to get better as a red zone target, which is a very good thing. because he needs to be that now. Unfortunately for him, he didn't exactly do well after that, so it's kind of a bit of an issue, so it's kind of sad on that. As for another loser on my mind is Brock Purdy. Also, he didn't exactly do the best for the 49ers. He kind of got a pick. He was able to get some passing yards. He was able to get something out of there, so that's at least something for the 49ers. So I like that for the team. But he didn't exactly do well today. Mac Jones didn't exactly do better either. He was a bit inaccurate. It's kind of weird that Mac Jones was so good. He's acting like his Jaguars and Patriots self. Hopefully, in the preseason games that they're playing, he's at least better, and that teams can show that why he's a quarterback, can be a starting quarterback for the 49 for any team in the NFL. So as for in as for the 49ers, we're all about their business with no notable skirmishes. That's unusual for a joint president, and it led to Shanahan delivering the funniest line of the day as he poked fun at Robert Saleh, Titans coach, and his good friend. Asked if there was a reason for the lack of fighting. Shanahan joked, "No, the Chargers head coach has more discipline than Tennessee's." As for injury updates, Black was one of the 3 players to return to practice Tuesday, joining receiver Demarcus Robinson, who also missed Sunday, and defensive lineman Keon White. White and Black had been dealing with adductor injuries, though White did not finish the session. So that's at least he's back on there, but it's kind of an issue that he wasn't finished the entire session, so we'll have to monitor that for a little bit. Here's Fred Warner also, who forced a fumble. He's just better at just these peanut, just punch outs on the Joku. Like he's just so good though. So I love that. That was one of my favorite plays. As for this, Jair Brown gets trucked by Omari and Hampton, which is kind of embarrassing. Just that that was devastating. That kind of hurt. So, but there was some good defensive. I mentioned Ronaldo Green was one. Fred Warner was probably one. But Osa Digizua was one of the defensive standouts. Was Osa Digizua, half dozen sacks if they were allowed those kinds of things. So he was able to get pressure in the middle, and he kind of got close to Justin Herbert. So that would have been like a couple of sacks, but you can't sack the quarterback during joint practices or at all. So that would have been potential sacks. So, but the edge right now, it's kind of an issue with Nick Bosa, who is technically the edge of the piece for like his pass rush, for pass rushing. So that's kind of a bit of a sad and strange issue. So it's kind of a bit worrisome, but we'll have to monitor on that. Defensive tackle C.J. West did not practice because of concussion, which makes him the 5th player in this camp to have suffered a hand injury. Defensive lineman Titus Leo also had a concussion and was waived/injured as the team brought back defensive tackle Evan Anderson. The competition for the backup running back job behind McCaffrey has been difficult to handicap because of injuries to all the primary contenders for that job, but Black picked up where he left off before his injury. He broke a long possible touchdown run down the left side in the session and clearly has the freshest legs of the bunch, which is a good thing. It's nice to see him stepping up for that because as you can see here, Jordan James is still out, Isaac Guerrero is still out, so I think James is going to come back probably week 3. I think Black is probably going to stay, so I just don't see Guerrero possibly coming back, maybe on IR. We'll see if they add him onto the roster. There's a lot of talk on maybe adding him to the 53-man roster just for kick returns and punt returns, so for kick returning, so we'll have to see if that happens, so we'll just have to monitor that for now, so we'll just have to see on that. As for Nick Bosa is doing well in his knee tendonitis. Symptoms have been subsiding per Kyle Shanahan, which is a good thing, so we'll have to see if, so it's good that he is making some progress for Nick Bosa because they really need him for that pass rush. As for Michael Williams, it is a long shot for week 1, but is progressing well in ACL rehab, which I'm not surprised because he has his ACL injury, and that was during the New York Giants game, so it was a bit earlier. It was at the middle, close to the end of the season, so I'm not really surprised that he is not going to play week 1, so I'm not surprised on that. So I think he's doing well but they're saying he's doing very well, and that's a very good sign for the 49ers. Shanahan also said that several starters will play against the Chargers during the second preseason game of the year. So those are players kind of like possibles of Brock Purdy, possible of Mike Evans, um, some maybe Osa, Fred Warner, and Dre Greenlaw are possibility as they're saying. As rumors are wrapping around, and then the last thing I want to show is that Coach Kyle Shanahan says speculation about Christian McCaffrey being out for contract-related reasons would be wrong. Shanahan says McCaffrey is coming along well, and if today's practice had been normal, not joint, CMC would have participated. So overall, the defense and offense didn't really do very good. Injury updates are starting to get a bit better. I still haven't seen anything from Dominic Pooney or CJ West, which is kind of a strange issue. Hopefully they get better. So we'll just have to monitor on that. But overall, today's training camp was very not good for both offense and defense. So it's a sad moment. It's kind of not a good thing, but it's also a good learning moment to see what they need to fix on, like Shanahan said. But it's kind of a bit concerning, which makes me wish that Robert Saleh was here. But I'm sure Raheem Morris knows what he's doing. He's been a good defensive coordinator. He was able to lead the Rams to a Super Bowl. He's been very solid. He was gotten most sacks with that team. So I trust in him. So hopefully he just fixes things. So hopefully he fixes things up for this defense, and then for offense, hopefully it gets better. As for rumors on trade for trading, I don't see the Vita Vea thing. I mean, I could see it. Like I said, I think it could happen if the only way this could happen is if all the defensive tackles just aren't that good, like Alfred Collins, CJ West. If those guys, like if Alfred Collins isn't doing good, then I think they're gonna try to trade. Then I think that is when I would say to trade for Vita Vea. As for the safety room, I really would love if Jesse Bates would join, but at the same time, I don't think that is going to happen, unfortunately. I think right now is that you need to, and I think this could actually work for us because right now, the Falcons, right now, they aren't going to be good. They have Michael Penix, they have Tua Tagovailoa, so maybe involve Mac Jones in that deal. I don't know. It could be a good idea to add him on there to entice them, so that way you could trade Mac Jones. Like in my trade package, I would put Mac Jones in there, Jair Brown for Jesse Bates. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Maybe like a pick, and then that should be it. And then Via Vea, I would do Alfred Collins, maybe a third round pick, kind of like the Osadikazua thing for Via Vea. So I would hold off on the Via Vea thing. That only is if all these defensive tackles don't do good, like Alfred Collins. So, and then the safety, I would really suggest Jesse Bates because he's just a great safety overall. He's a great player. I would love it if they just did that. So, I would just do it. In my view, if I was in John Lynch's shoes. So, but that is it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below on what you think of day 14 of 49ers training camp. So, and this is Bay Area Sports Report signing off.